was our shield when we needed it, and like it or not, we're gonna be his.
If there's a chance to save your life, why not try?
It could help us keep the world from shattering into a billion pieces.
It's part of life. We're all gonna die.
You gotta be kidding me.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. New next Friday, 9, 8 Central on ABC.
What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video. So if you are new to the channel, please do consider leaving a like and a subscribe down below if you do enjoy the video at the end. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has continued on to be a really great show once it has returned. And I really did enjoy the 100th episode. It was a great joy to see quite a lot of these moments in the show, especially the wedding. And while it wasn't the kind of spectacular, mind-blowing sort of moments that we had in the 100th episode that I was kind of expecting, well, a lot actually went down. And we now know that there is a rift towards a special dimension which they have attempted to try and fix. Now, in this trailer, we actually have the mention of saving Coulson's life, and it's easy to forget what the future Yo-Yo actually mentioned when she said possibly that them trying to save Coulson's life does cause the end of the world, and he simply needs to actually die for it to survive, which is incredibly curious. Now we know that Coulson is simply dying. The kind of weird sort of damage that he had from Loki has actually caused all of this, and that the kind of burning when he was Ghost Rider meant that he now is slowly, very and surely going to die. So the team, or at least Agent May, is not going to give up on saving Agent Coulson, and that is going to provide their downfall. So I expect this episode to address that just a bit more, and maybe Yo-Yo will actually reveal everything that has been said. Now, it's quite cool here that this Yo-Yo that we've got is certainly, possibly, a version of the weird sort of seer that we had in the future. So this is setting up the kind of thing here. Although in the future we did see her have arms, and she was going to fight the Kree invaders, which is really weird. So it's unsure about that, but I expect her possibly to reveal this. However, the idea that perhaps she doesn't know that it was their actions that caused this, maybe. It's quite interesting. And also at the end of this trailer, we did see the Kree signal actually return. So what we thought was the kind of the one that was exploded, there is another one. We see Mac actually go towards this at the end of the trailer. So it certainly is the fact that this is not over. This storyline of the whole Kree signal is definitely going to return, and is possibly what going to lead Cassius and the rest of his group to Earth. So they're going to come to Earth, and they will actually be led by this signal. Now, part of me is thinking, now, if the world is being destroyed and they've gone back in time, back to before it was destroyed, surely they could just call up the Avengers. I think that it's kind of weird that we didn't get any Avengers or anything like that mentioned at all. And it is odd that they didn't have or mention even contacting them. Maybe I missed that. Maybe I could be completely wrong, but it is just really weird. I think it's a real shame. Now, the fact that the next episode we actually have the group look for Gravitonium, and the fact that we do have, I think that's Jake Busey. I could be completely wrong here that Jake Busey is there, but we've got him, and perhaps he is one of the people who knows where the rest of the Gravitonium actually is, because Gravitonium is seemingly the only thing that can actually heal this rift. So Gravitonium, or at least more Gravitonium, will be needed, and perhaps if this is used, we will actually see the Doctor who actually kind of discovered and used, kind of led the breakthrough of Gravitonium. And what could happen here if they use that Gravitonium to seal the rift? Well, what could happen is, using the fear dimension sort of craziness, this will then lead to him come out as a villain. He will be released out of there, and this could lead to him actually becoming Graviton. So this would be a nice idea that he's gone through to this and he had a real problem, and he's been corrupt by this. Because the fear dimension, this is actually sort of from the comic. So this is kind of from Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange actually featured the dimension of dreams. Now, one of the monoliths actually had weird spiral writing, and we did kind of, on this channel, posit the idea that this could be a look into different sort of dimensions, which is really, really cool. Now, the idea that all these different fear dimensions are ruled by fear lords and things like that, well, that would be really, really cool if we did actually see this. And it's another connection to Doctor Strange. And what would be really cool is that we would see Ghost Rider return through this way. And I think that would be quite cool. And the question is this fear dimension actually the reason, or this rift at least, the reason why the Earth is destroyed? Now, that'd be really, really awesome if it just turns out that this was the reason, but I'm not too sure. I feel like it should be a bit of a bigger thing. However, at the moment, this is definitely the most clear and present threat over to the world. So the fact that that has been destroyed is pretty cool, and they're searching for more Gravitonium. Now, in the next episode, after this one, in episode 14, after, well, Principia, which is the one I've just mentioned, this actually features Fitz and Simmons trying to find a way to seal the rift, and they are faced with one of their greatest fears manifested. Now, this possibly does actually lead to the idea that Graviton could be one of the villains of this. Maybe that could be their greatest fear, perhaps, or it could simply be one of their greatest fears, maybe involved with Deke as well, perhaps. Next up, we've also got Ruby. I'm not sure if Ruby will be featured prominently in this episode, but she does have an obsession with good old Daisy. So we could see these two fight, and the fight that causes this, that causes the world to be destroyed, perhaps could also be the fight between Ruby and Daisy. So I think that would be an interesting idea as well. However, that is it for this video. Please do drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.